everyone. Today on PAC's special episode of PAC Asks, What Are You Up To? We have the lovely and talented actor Chris Coucill with us today. Hey Chris, how are you?
Tom. I'm well. I'm as well as can be in this crazy time.
Sure. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I'm an artistic associate with PAC, and if you recognize Chris, it could be because he was in our 2013 production, TIMON of Athens. He played Timon, and the play was directed by Dan Hodge. So thank you so much for being with us today, Chris. And so we just want to take a moment to catch up with some of these amazing artists that we've worked with in the past and see how they're dealing with everything. So thank you again, Chris, for taking the time out of your schedule to chat with us for today.
And I want to just acknowledge, I just met you today.
Yes.
and we had a lovely chat. And so we're getting to know each other as well.
Yes, we're getting to know Chris. I'm getting to know Chris along with all of you all. So super happy to be doing this. Can you tell me a little bit, Chris, about how you're feeling, how your soul is feeling right now?
There's frustration around a lot of corners. Frustration in seeing my dear friends who are in the theater struggling to find a way to keep their art alive. Also, the theaters themselves, we're losing businesses, but we're losing theaters, and we're losing performing arts in general. Imagination people are putting into trying to bridge this gap. It's fabulous to watch, not just Zoom, but doing outdoor readings. So, I'm fascinated to watch how we're doing this, but I worry about so many friends.
Can you describe a little bit of your background for those who don't know too much about what you have worked on in the past?
In a nutshell, my father was an actor. So it's the business of the family. I have an MFA from Wayne State and BFA from University of Utah, and where I acted. I didn't study a lot. I acted as much as I could. And I lived in New York for many years and did quite a bit of off-Broadway. I was Buffalo Bill in Annie Get Your Gun with Bernadette Peters on Broadway. I was General Harrison Howe in Kiss Me Kate with Brian Stokes Mitchell on Broadway. I was in The Graduate with Lorraine Bracco on Broadway. So that was a whole other part of my acting. And my real love is the classic. I've done Shakespeare all my life. I worked years at Shakespeare and Company, a wonderful place up in the Berkshires. So I've gone between musicals and real classics and legit theater for all of my life. I love both.
I had no clue that you sang. That is a great fun fact that we discovered today.
And the only reason I sang was because I wanted to work.
Right.
I was in college and, there was a musical and that was the only thing that was going at the time. So I tried for it. And I tried once to get into the Fantastics in college. And I got the role of El Gallo. And I was not, I'd never sung before. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't very good, and I knew it. And years later, I also got the role at the Sullivan Street Theater in the original production, that kept playing for 40 years. And I played that for a year and a quarter in New York City. Mm-hmm. And that same director who cast me in high schools came to see me in that, and he said, he gave me the grade for the most improved singer he'd seen.
Hey.
That doesn't mean I was good. It just means I was improved.
It means most improved. That's all that matters. Improved.
Okay, so I was okay.
You're okay. Just like,
that's all right.
Off Broadway. That's all right. Usually you talk to someone and it's like, oh, what type of theater do you enjoy? Very rarely do people say classics and musicals because it's such a different type of style. Was there something that drew you to both?
My father loved Shakespeare, would read to my mother at night before they went to bed. We could hear them in our bedroom. So I had that in my ear. When I got into theater, my father was also doing musicals just to keep working. And I came to love them because my friends were doing them, because I loved them. And I had, for years, I watched them and then started trying to do them. But the big difference that I find between the two, both of which I love, musicals are a rhythmic performance. Once you get on the ride, you don't let go. They require you hit marks play. It's like a finely tuned clock. You have to keep going. It ticks. It has rhythm in the dancing, the singing, the dialogue. It is exciting and thrilling to take that ride. Shakespeare, for instance, is about plumbing the depths of thought. And so you're trying to find a different way of feeling, thinking, understanding thoughts and words within a wonderful form. And so it is rhythmic, because the pentameter, for instance, is a rhythm, but it is about thought more than it is about rhythm. It has rhythm to it, but you're working on a totally different plane of thought. So you do musicals as well?
I wish I did. I do not sing. I can sing in like a choir, but like, yeah, no. Just like the endurance too. Because like you said, once the musical starts, like you're on that thing.
I think you'd love
it. I will try going forward. If theater ever returns to normal, I will try to do at least one musical. You know, I'd be happy if I did at least one.
Remember me and tell me when you're doing it and I will come.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I totally will. What's a play that really stuck with you? A classical play that maybe like meant more? I think a lot of us artists, right now, since we aren't able to perform live and we're not able to do theater, I think we're all kind of like realizing, wow, I took that show for granted, or I took the art of acting for granted. So is there a particular show or a performance or cast that you just looking back are like, wow, that was an amazing experience?
A couple come to mind. One was called Observe the Sons of Ulster Marching Toward the Somme, a too long title of a great, great play. A man named McGuinness wrote it, and it's about World War I in the trenches of France, but English soldiers in the trenches. And the reason I was so taken with it is, first of all, it's great writing. It's a very difficult show to do. There are Northern Irish accents, and you have to really understand the terrain of the war, of England at the time, of the lives that these people came from. It was a lot of work to research it. We had a wonderful director, Tina Packer. It was with the Boston Shakespeare Company. And the reason I was so taken by it, partly because of the writing, but partly because it changed people's lives. You rarely get in a piece where it has a resonance with the audience that makes them rethink where they are. And it was about the Troubles, but it was about the beginning, why the Troubles were there between Northern Ireland and England. It was a great experience. We had a wonderful cast, we had a wonderful time, but more importantly, we made a difference to people watching it.
What do you think? This is a heavy question, so forgive me if, take your time, but what do you think the role of theater will be once this pandemic is over? How do you think it will change? Like we said earlier, there's a lot going on in this country and this world, and I'm sure that the effects of all of it is going to influence the arts, especially. How do you think theater will change if we ever get back to it? Will its role have a different meaning? Do you have any thoughts on what it should be or what it can be?
I think there's always going to be theater. It is a natural part of human expression to act out our stories. Theater for me has always been about giving voice to the unsaid. Things that have not been said in a certain way get their first expressions many times in theater. When we go to see a play that moves us, that we are surprised by, it's partly because we are hearing things for the first time expressed about a certain subject. Theater is reflecting our ongoing humanity and our development as a culture. I hope that theater will start to head now toward much more multiculturalism. Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton started something that I think is so convincing, so obvious, but so unspoken for so long, which is humans are humans. We can accept any combination of whatever body type or sex or anything. We can accept it all. The ideas are the important things. And in that show, we got the electricity of our current culture showing us what the feeling was back in 1776. But it was the electricity of our current culture and our current multiplicity. You know, in Shakespeare's time, there were people from all over the continent and all different, from Ireland, from Scotland, from England, from France, from all over in this company. It was multicultural then. We forget that. And we can see it in some of the plays. We hear some of the accents, we read some of the, but it has always been richer when we've had the best of the best of humanity on stage. We'll have a renaissance of multiple voices that we haven't had from not just different communities of culture, but from different points of view that we haven't allowed onto the stage. I think we will. I noticed on your website, on PAC's website, you have 4 plays recommended by Black writers, including Lorraine Hansberry and several others. And you put the plays on the screen. You can read them there, which I thought was wonderful. It's a time where we had the time, because of the pandemic, to really sit down and pay attention. And I'm hoping that will be a whole new wave of imagination and creativity when we come out of this. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's time.
Yeah. I love the way you phrase that, a whole new wave of imagination and creativity. I think that's so beautiful and inspiring.
Yeah, we all get worn down by this situation we're in, our national situation, not our government and our health. And it affects everybody. There is nobody who escapes this, and it affects some of us much more than others. And the struggle right now is just to not get beaten by it. I think we all have to hang on to that spark. We're going to get through this. I'm convinced we're going to get through this, and we're going to not just recover, but we're going to have a resurgence. I really believe that.
What's something that brings you joy through these times right now?
This is going to sound corny, but my wife.
No, that's perfect. That's not corny.
I'm one of the lucky people who, she's my friend. She's my dearest personal friend. And we enjoy doing things, which means in this pandemic, we're not alone. It's so easy to be very alone in this. The other thing, I try to keep myself busy outside. It's my own personal project. I live in a place that has a wooded area next to it. And beyond that is a glorious meadow that belongs to a nature conservancy. Several of us got together in this community, cut our way through the woods, built a bridge over a little stream. And we've had it for about 4 years. And it's opened up this whole community to that gorgeous place, but it gets washed out every time the rains come. And so my thing is I go out there and I repair it. Every few days I'm out there repairing. It keeps me busy. It allows all of our community to have some freedom. And I feel like I'm useful.
I did say hi to Liz earlier, but do you mind? Is she available to come and say hi to everyone?
Liz, you're being requested. She's done a lot of theater work.
Hi.
Hello. We just wanted to give everyone a chance to meet you because Chris speaks so lovely and highly of you. So we just wanted to give everyone a chance to say.
Well, he had to do that because I was standing right over there.
You say,
and I was waving at him like,
no,
we love PAC. We go to
yeah.
everything PAC does practically. So the only troupe that allowed my husband to be nude on stage.
Did you know that?
I did not know that. Oh
yes,
my goodness.
It was weird. Dan, when he asked me to do Timon, said, there's a thing at the end of the first act where he says, I stand nude in front of society. And he doesn't say it quite in those words, but that's the idea. And he said, I want that to be true. And will you do it? And I think I was 62 or something at the time. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know about this. But I agreed, and it was tastefully and integrally done. You know, it had meaning for the play.
Right.
So it worked out well. Yeah.
I'm glad you had fun. I'm so happy that Liz just came in, said that little comment, slipped right out. Like, amazing. Was that your first time being nude on stage, or have you done that before?
No. And you know, you kind of avoid most of the plays that have that gratuitously. But Dan was wonderful. He really saw point in it and made it work.
Good job, Dan. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
You're like watching this.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. It was so lovely talking to you.
Thank you
for taking the time to like chat with us all, for bringing your lovely wife to meet us all.
She is lovely.
We at PAC appreciate you, and I know that everyone sends their love. So I will be sure to express that.
Yes, please, both of our love. And always let us know what you're doing.
I will.
Thank you for including me in this. It was a lovely experience. Thank you.